Oh, hi there. Today I'm going to talk about two different types of alcohols that I'm gonna try out. One of them is an over-the-barrel cream soda. That might be too radical for some people, but you know, I'm willing to give it a try because I hear from mostly from old fogies that cream soda used to be good, you know, before Coca-Cola and I don't know, the select brands took over cream soda. It wasn't as good. Anyway, so it's worth a try. And the Smirnoff Electric Orange is another one I'm going to try. It sounds kind of interesting because it's non-carbonated, so it should be a little less harsh on the throat because, as you know from other videos I've made, that I have a bit of a sore throat ongoing. Not going to talk about that in this video though. They're both 5.5%. The Smirnoff Electric Orange comes in a 4-pack, which is about $10. So it's, you know, they're not giving it away, but it's reasonably priced, I guess. They're 355 milliliter cans. What can you expect? The over-the-barrel cream soda is 473 milliliters, and it's about $3 if I recall. So I'm gonna give that a try and give it my review. To other people, they may have different opinions, especially as I like to drink my alcohol at room temperature. Most people don't. There are reasons for why I like doing that, mostly because of my throat and because I find it tastes better that way. Anyway, that's my opinion on that, so let's give this over the barrel a try. This is it, and if you want to have a look at it. They recently acquired it at the liquor stores, so it should be fairly easy to find in the lower mainland region. Anyway, I'm going to give it a try. I don't even know what color it is, so that's a mystery. It's too dark to tell. I don't think it's pink though. But let's give it a taste. Well, it tastes like how a cream soda, how you would expect one to taste. It's okay, I guess. It's not a whole lot different from the soda pop you get from your grocery store. A little bit different. I can't say I really taste the alcohol. It is 5.5%, so I don't know. It's definitely another one of those drinks like the root beers that you wouldn't want to get drunk off of because then that would be just too much sugar. It's okay though. Like having one accompanied with some beers or wine or whatever. Don't mix them, but I mean it all goes in the same place, but you know, don't mix them. So that's something to think about anyway. Because I had heard that Chinese rich people like to put ginger ale in like really old expensive scotch, and that's really disgusting. It's kind of funny because I was in my liquor store and they were talking about the Christmas decorations and they had all these red stars around and they're like, oh, is communist China taking over our liquor stores? And they're the ones buying the expensive alcohol and ruining it by pouring ginger ale or Coca-Cola into it. I have no respect for that. That's in bad taste. And not the good kind of bad taste, just bad taste. So this one's, it's okay. I might get it again. It's not particularly expensive. It's okay. I don't have anything negative to say for it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get it if it weren't easily available. Okay, so we've tried that one. Now let's try the Smirnoff Electric Orange. As I told you, it's non-carbonated, and non-carbonated to me means good. Let's have a look at the ingredients here. If it tells you, water, sugar, vodka, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, sodium citrate, sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, color. So a lot of those things don't sound particularly good, but that's kind of what you would expect in a drink like this. It's supposed to have like an orange flavor. Ideally what you want to do is get a vodka and, you know, freshly squeeze your own oranges, or at least get a Tropicana or something like that. That's ideally what you'd want to do if you want to have maybe a little bit of nutrition in your alcohol, because I mean alcohol itself doesn't have a whole lot of nutrition. It has a lot of empty calories and that sort of thing, so it's not really nutritional. And these pre-made flavored vodkas, which is basically what this is, it's not carbonated, which is the selling point for me, but it's a flavored Smirnoff is what it is. So we're gonna give this a try and tell you how that is. Oh, in case you wanted to have a closer look at the label. This is fairly new as well. I had seen it before, but yeah, we'll just give it a try. Tastes kind of like an orange juice with no pulp in it. There's hardly a vodka flavor to it at all. It is 5.5%. So, in fact, because vodka, as everyone knows, is 40%. So, you know, it has a much stronger flavor. And the fact that it's only 5.5 in this can means they can dilute it with this concoction of different flavors and water and this and that to dilute it. Anyway, this one's okay. Another one of those ones that it has a lot of sugar in it, so you wouldn't want to get drunk off of it, but you could definitely have it as a starter drink. It might be something that you'd want to drink in the morning if you were going to drink anything in the morning. Most people don't, and there are obvious reasons for that. So there's that. I got a new flask, which will be my new Devil's Elixir, Choppers Until You Die. This is a strictly indoors flask. I mean, it's got the Iron Cross on it. Now, when I asked the woman at the music shop, oh, does that have anything to do with the German army? She's like, no, it's got to do with hip-hop and things like that, because I was ignorant. I didn't know what choppers meant. At first I thought it was a Lemmy Motorhead thing, but it's not. It's evidently it's some sort of hip-hop. And black people have taken on that style too, which is unusual, because this is indeed it's an Iron Cross on this thing, as you can plainly see. So I wouldn't see any reason why people wouldn't associate it with that. I mean, the German army existed long before choppers did, so there's probably some significant reason why they have this logo. I don't know what it is, don't ask me. But it's another variation of my Devil Elixir. I hope to get a replica of the flask that was used in Little Nicky, the devil's flask that he used to try to capture his brothers in and take them back to hell. That would be, kind of a cool thing to have. It's, in the movie it was a big giant thing, so obviously you're not going to take it to the movie theaters or whatever, but still, it looked cool, so I wouldn't mind having a replica of that. I think that'd be cool, because I think I'm going to start collecting flasks. I've got I got a Wiser's flask, which is nothing to write home about. It's a simple flask. There's this one. This one cost me about 15 bucks, so they didn't give it away, but for a bit of metal, it was an okay deal. And then my dad's old flask, which I had to replace the cork for because the cork was just crumbling. It was ready to fall apart. Still a cool thing to have. And I like it, and I think I'm going to start collecting these things. It's got a little bit of the electric Smirnoff in it, so I'll just have a little drink of that. Maybe loosen my tongue a little bit. It's not ideal for quick dispensary, but well, it didn't trap me inside forever, so I guess it's not the same one as the one in the Little Nicky movie starring Adam Sandler. A very good movie, by the way. Anyway, for anyone who's still watching this video, that wasn't all I wanted to talk about. That's a little side note. I also wanted to talk about the 86 pounds worth of gold flakes that were stolen out of the armored vehicle in New York. Anybody who watches a little bit of TV, maybe you're into a little mystery, this, that, and the other, and like Person of Interest, you name it, all those type of TV shows, and you will know that that was an inside job. Some people aren't going to say it. Some people aren't going to say it out loud, but it was. The cops are in on it. The armored truck company's in on it. I think it's called Loomis. Certainly the guy who took it is in on it. The guards who were supposed to be guarding the truck, they're armed, by the way. They have guns. And supposedly it took this thief an hour to get to his car and disappear. So I don't know what they were doing. It doesn't make any sense. They would have been, you know, they would have had the doors locked even if they had a box of donuts in the back. So don't tell me that they had hundreds of pounds of gold flakes unguarded in an armored vehicle for at least an hour and they were doing nothing. It's at least an hour because when they went back to it, the guy was long gone, and the guy goes to sit next to the guard goes to sit next to one of the barrels, and he notices that the other barrel has gone missing. And I don't know about you, but 86 pounds is hard to move. I mean, because of the awkwardness of it. It's a round cylindrical barrel. It's not easy to pick it up and go. Even like the 45-pound weights you lift at the gym are not that easy to move. They're awkward to move. It's not just the weight, it's the awkward shape that it is. And there's no easy way to do that without looking suspicious. And if anybody, and this is New York we're talking about, so anybody could see you doing it. And he looked like a schmuck. And he looked like the poster boy for an armed robbery that police are in on it, the guards are in on it, the company's in on it, and it's all different circles taking money from different people, and they're just going to tie it up with red tape and false investigations, and it's just going to be a big mess, and it's going to take years and years to settle, and the guy, he may or may not get away with it. That may not have been the part of the bargain that he agreed to. He certainly thinks he's going to get away, but he's not going to. He probably was unaware that so much of his facial features were covered in the video of him taking it. He was probably unaware of it. But the thing is, those gold flakes will never be recovered. That is a solid fact. They're going to disappear in the system. And that's too bad because they're $1.6 million worth. At least, and all that sort of stuff happens all the time, here and there. Loose change goes missing. Supposedly it happened in a popular area in New York too. I don't know where West 48th Street is, but you know, from the looks of it, it looked like a busy area, and you know, somebody is going to get their wallet filled. A lot of people are, and it's not going to be that schmuck who took it. He got his 5 minutes of fame by being on the news of taking it and looking like the cool guy, and now everyone thinks that these sort of things are possible, that you can be a schmuck and run into money. I'm not saying people who were schmucks haven't run into money in the past. There have been absolute dimwits who had done nothing to deserve it, or no intellectual contribution to have earned it, but have lucked into money. And that would be prominently true in this video, except he was in on it as well. He was in on the theft with the authorities and things like that. And it just goes to show you that the media lies. They lie big time. And they lie about everything, and unnecessarily too. I mean, there are so many old people who watched all the TV shows where these little heists and things like that happen in those TV shows, and they know this is the style of thing that happens. So why not just come out and say it? Why do you have to give the most vague story possible, stupefy everything, the stupid beam like I talked about, and just have the same kind of theme going on where vague details, nothing's said, you don't want to talk about anything, and the story sort of just disappears. Because next week, even tomorrow maybe, the story will be gone. It'll be forgotten. And there'll be greedy lawyers, greedy judges, and all of them with their hands in on the pie. And everyone else is just like, we don't even get to know what happens, because basically it's gone money no matter what happens. If the guy gets shot 10 times and the barrel gets taken away from his icy cold fingers, we're not going to hear about that. It's just going to slip through the cracks. And it's really irritating because that's a significant amount of money. And some chump picking it up, some chump working for other chumps who are in on a conspiracy. Oh, it's an absolute, it's a piss off. And the news stations that are showing this story are promoting the idea of police corruption, of the judicial system's corruption. And they didn't come out and say it, and they never will, they'll never admit it, but we all know they're in on it. And there are other people who can explain the story a lot better than me, of how they're corrupt, they're crooked, and they cheat, and they lie. And they'll just keep doing it over and over again if people let them do it. More people need to stand up and point out what they're doing wrong and why they're doing it, and let them know that it's not okay. Some of us have to work for a living, and not that I don't think they don't work for a living, but you can't get away by doing bad things. And finding the scapegoat, or that chump to pick it up for you, even if he wasn't in on it, let's say he was legitimately a thief and he just lucked out by seeing it, you'll use him as a pawn to steal that money yourself. Because you'll apprehend him, and then some of the gold flakes, if not all of it, will have disappeared into nothingness. Maybe they'll say he was crazy, the thief. Maybe they'll say, well, he thought it was WMDs. He thought it was anthrax, so he poured it in the ocean or something. Who knows? He got rid of it. It's gone. Complete load of lies. Because if it's gold flakes, and I saw what the gold flakes look like on the television, assuming that's what they actually look like, it didn't actually look like gold. It looked like just a kind of a dark brown powder. And you know, one could go, in the state of fear that New York's in, it's quite easy to go, oh, what if this was a government conspiracy to unleash some sort of anthrax or other deadly WMD, and then blame terrorists, and that chump was the front man for terrorism. What if that thought crossed him? He's probably a dimwit who didn't even think of that. But what if it was just a trick to unleash the WMD, promote terrorism, promote police state mentality, strengthen up the forces in that area, get everyone into a fear-mongering state, all so that they could steal a bit of money. I mean, on not large a scale, it seems unreasonable to think that they would do all that for a lousy 1.6 million. But it's a lousy 1.6 million to a lot of people. But to a few people, that's a lot of money. And I'm not saying it's not a lot of money to a lot of people. I'm saying it only is if you're one of the few people in on it. If everyone's in on it, then it's not a lot of money. So I think it's phony baloney. I don't trust them at all on this one. And we'll probably never hear of it again, and never hear, when they do catch this guy, what his name is, what he did. But trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if it had turned out differently and they had accused him of trying to commit a terrorist act or something like that. They used him as a kind of a Ponzi, a easy to blame person. Anyway, yeah, that's for the most part what I wanted to talk about today. I might come up with a few more videos later today. We'll see. I have the day off, so we'll talk later. Anyway, have a good one.